Just a minute. Facing some issue. Just a minute. Huh? Just give me a.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am, is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, So very good morning, students. As ma'am told you that, I belong to the field of human resource management and organizational behavior. I have this inclination in my mind to take up the innovative and new topic for the discussions, right? So here what I have decided is that today I'm not going, as I said, I'm not going to teach you or preach you something, but I'm going to share some of the management fundamentals through the stories, right? So let's move ahead. Now, basically what happens is whenever something is narrated to us as a mandatory thing or as a compulsion, our human brain throws it off. Why so? Because there's a compulsion. And if I have to state it, that the gen alpha always wants something which is very flexible. The gen alpha always wants something which has to be very conducive in certain ways. So a story is a very good method, or I would say it's a very good management tools to make you understand certain kind of um, management concepts, management frameworks, and it has been proven through the research that when we follow these types of different methodology, the retention rate is more. Okay. So taking it ahead, it is storytelling or story narratives are very, very relevant in the field of management education, and it's generally associated with, sometimes we have a childhood memory that our grandfather, grandmother, parents narrating a story and we still remember it, right? But we don't remember a class which somebody took, a professor took a day back, but the story which was narrated to us 20 years back is fresh in our mind. So basically, in order to imbibe the right kind of culture, the right kind of ethics, the right kind of management principles, the storytelling is used by numerous professors, consultants in their workshops and all. So here I would like to give one example that, whenever there's a change management initiative in an organization, the first thing is, as a human, we have our own inertia and we are not receptive to that change, right? So in the case of driving the change management initiatives, the the methodology which most of the consultants follow is narrating it through the tool of storytelling. So there are various values which can be narrated through the stories, and it builds an emotional connect. We always remember that, how the members of our family narrated a story, and that helped us to build a kind of very robust emotional connect. So if we are able to develop that emotional connect, it becomes very, very easier for us to retain the things and to practice the things, because they give us some memorable lessons, they give us some memorable teachings. um, you just check out, students. I want to know from some of you, if you can unmute yourself, that how you have learned the culture of the society. Can anybody tell me, how do you learn the culture of the society? I see Sonal, Tanaya, Mrunal.
Ma'am,
Anybody? Yeah,
from our family.
very good. We see it from our family. But just tell me, childhood also you observed certain things and you tried to replicate it?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Fine. I'll tell you one example, very sweet example. It's a Maharashtrian culture to invite for Haldi Kumkum, right? So ladies exchange, they do a lot of rituals together. And I found this girl, a small girl, sitting with her group of friends and trying to replicate the same. So see how she has imbibed it. There was no compulsion over there. It was just through the observation. Even the mom doesn't know that she is observing and she's trying to replicate it, right? So what I mean to say is, whenever there's no compulsion and the tool used is the tool which is of your choice, you try to replicate it, you try to practice it, you try to implement it, and there's a higher retention rate. Fine. So there are various aspects through which we learn, and story is one of the tools used there. Now when I talk of management institutions, you must have gone through various kinds of case studies. Some are factual cases, some are what do you say, the imaginary cases, right? Now how these cases are built in, if it is based on the fact, what you're narrating certain situations over there, again it becomes a part of a story only, but the story which is based on the fact itself. Hmm? But sometimes what we do is, in order to make the concept clear, sometimes imaginary stories or imaginary cases are also built up. um, Related to management fundamentals, if I talk about, you all know about what are the main pillars of management. Can anybody define management for me? What do you mean by that? I mean, not a bookish definition. For you, what management stands for? Someone should come for my rescue. Anyone? Okay. um I will try to answer on behalf of you, right? Because no choices available. See, if I say that management is something, it's getting the work done by others, it's a very, very old definition. Is it prevalent in this VUCA world? No, right? Because there will be subordinates, there will be juniors who will point at you stating, okay, fine, you can make us work, but what about you? Right? So it doesn't work with Gen Alpha, because Gen Alpha, they want very logical reasoning, related to everything. So here the point is, management is optimum utilization of resources to reach to your objective, isn't it? Whatever resources are available at this point of time, we need to use it. So all those planning, staffing, organizing, controlling, coordinating, everything becomes a part of it. And it's a whole gamut of activity. On the same line, there are certain principles of management which you need to follow, and there are certain aspects of management which you need to follow. So for example, team building, this is a word which you see in your screen, right? And when we say team building, shall I go and start with definition of team, how teams should be built, how strategies should be formulated, or else I should opt for a small story to make you understand that what is team, what is team cohesiveness, and how I need to build a good team as such. So if I narrate this story, this concept with a story, it would be very, very easier for you to understand the thing. So my narration starts from here. So first story which I'm going to narrate to you is, now listen carefully, students. I'm going to tell you very small stories, right? I'm going to today narrate at least, if the time permits, 5 6 stories. But what I want is that you should respond to my questions when I say, what are the learnings which you have derived, or what will be the answer to it? Because otherwise it will be a monologue, and as I told you, I'm not here to teach you. Fine, let's talk. Let's make it something which is, it's a two-way process. I would appreciate it in that way, right? So now listen carefully. The first story. So, there was a saint, and there was one mother. The kid, the son of this mother, was, very fond of sugar. हम्म? वो बच्चे को मीठा बहुत पसंद था, शुगर बहुत पसंद थी. And the mother was to some extent very irritated with this fact, because somewhere she was knowing that too much of sugar intake is not good for the health, right? So she said she has a guru, and she is a follower of that guru, and if guru tells the kid will surely follow, right? So she took the kid to the guru, and she said, guru, I'm facing a big problem. My child is so much fond of sugar that he eats too much of it, and I'm really worried about his health. So can you please ask him not to eat sugar, right? And the saint was quiet for 2 minutes, and then he said, okay, you go home and come after a month. Now this mother was very, she was very puzzled that, I approached my guru with so much of expectation that he's going to guide, counsel, mentor my child, and my child will, he will leave that habit of excessive sugar intake. But why guru said that come after a month? She was very, very puzzled about it. But since she has a huge respect for him, she left the place along with the kid, and she decided, okay, fine, after a month I will visit. Okay. After a month, she visited guru again, and she said, sir, I followed guru, I followed your instructions. Again, after a month I'm here, he's following the same track, there's no change. He's not following my instruction of eating less sugar or no sugar. So please help me out. Fine. And guru smiled, and guru said, yes, today I'm going to talk to your son. Now, can anybody tell me, can anybody see, being management graduate pursuing this MBA course, you need to be little proactive in your approach, and you need to tell me, you need to have a logical reasoning, which is one of the characteristics of Gen Alpha, and you need to tell me that why guru behaved like this, what is the crux behind it. Any guesses? And there can be multiple guesses, students. I mean, there isn't any right answer or wrong answer. The most important thing is to try. Yes, I need answer. Please, somebody now, boys, somebody unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself and answer why Guru smiled after a month and said that, fine, I will counsel today. So I think again girls will come to my rescue. No one? Okay, fine. See, the thing was, the Guru smiled back and Guru said that, you know, today I've agreed to counsel your kid because I used to eat sugar a lot. Fine. So today's leadership is about leading with example. So how can I counsel your kid if I'm taking sugar as my intake? Right? So if I have to tell you not to do certain things, if I have to tell you follow a certain path, I have to first follow it being a leader. It's not that I'll be preaching something else and I'll be practicing something else. There has to be some integrity in that, right? So I will not be confident to counsel anyone if I do not believe in that thing. So he said, the Guru said, I required a month to change my habit so that I can counsel your kid well, right? So self management is the most important aspect of your life at this point of time. Fine. Now, why do I say so? See, if you're not self managed person, if you are not self managed manager, just tell me, are your subordinates going to give you respect? Are your peers going to give you respect? Are your subordinates going to follow your instructions? Right? So all these things will be missing. So today, when we talk of leadership, we talk of leading by example because that's the crux of it. If I want my subordinates to come on time, I should be on time. If I want my subordinates to have a sincerest of their efforts in a particular thing, first I'll have to do it. So everything starts with self-management. And let me tell you, the self-management, if I take your survey today that how many of you feel that you are self-managed personality, I don't know what percentage I'll be getting, maybe 10% or 20%. I'm damn sure that Mronal madam faces a problem where there's less attendance, students coming late to the session, the appearance of yours, the assignment of yours, all reflect that you are struggling with your time management skills, isn't it? I hope I'm right. So everything, the first thing is the self-management aspect. And this story tells us about the same. We need to be self-managed first before starting managing others. You must be coordinating various events and you face a lot of problem. Ma'am, there are no registrations coming. Ma'am, there are, students backing off. Why all these things are happening? Because somewhere we are failing in our management fundas. We are not practicing it. We are not practicing it on building up an emotional bond. We are not practicing it taking a rational decision. We are not practicing building up a good team which is not based on the personalities but which is focused on the task given, right? So there are various aspects of it, and it is one of the powerful tool to not only enhance the emotional connections, not only facilitate the lessons across the context, but this can also be helpful in leveraging, imbibing the right culture, the right ethics, the handling the team dynamics, supporting the good decisions, and leading the path ahead, right? So here are some of the research findings which I want to share it with you just to make you understand that, it's one of the important aspect. And once you are in the shoes of maybe HR executive, marketing executive, or later on in your life as a HR manager or marketing manager or into the financial domain also, you please start practicing it from today itself, right? So the research finding of Mr. Paul Smith, who is a consumer research executive, trainer, he has authored a book, Lead with a Story, and there he has mentioned that eh, eh, there were around 75 CEOs who were interviewed, and they were asked about the leadership challenges which they have faced and how they have overcome it. Most of them, they said that they have used this tool effectively as such. And some of the most successful companies in the world also use storytelling very intentionally as a leadership tool. For example, organizations like Microsoft, Motorola, NASA, World Bank, and in fact at Nike, all senior executives are designated corporate storytellers. So they don't go they don't start a meeting with a very rigid kind of framework that these are the tasks and these are the policies and these are the mandatory norms and you need to follow it. No, they first start building the background of it. They want that the colleagues over there, the members who are present in the meeting should have first the connect with whatever the task is allocated, and then a a larger picture related to it, that when once this is accomplished, what are we getting out of it, what will be there for us as well as for the organization. So these are some of the examples which I wanted to share it with you. The companies are greatly using it, like one of the example is 3M banned the bullet presentation, because today we are very happy that there are so many AI tools available. Ready-made presentations are there, but this company said, sorry, we will not be using this very monotonous format, but we'll have a strategic narratives related to it. So when we talk of strategic narratives, I'll later on in the presentation, I'll give you one example related to what do you mean by these strategic narratives. PNG has hired Hollywood movie directors to teach its senior executive how to lead in a better way with the storytelling, and how to hone your management skills through that. So stories are very, very inspiring. You just check out in your childhood, if your grandfather has narrated a story, that how he encountered something, how he faced that problem, how he struggled through that phase, and he came out as a hero out of that particular situation. I think that you will be remembering that throughout your life, because it's something which is very inspiring to you as a person. So there has to be stories which the leadership of the organization should share with the employees to inspire them towards their goal, to set their vision, to derive certain teaching out of it. And storytelling is one of the most effective tools when we talk of culture and values and how we communicate with others. So here one more story, students, I'm going to tell you. Please listen carefully, and I would appreciate if you please respond to my queries, right? So, I'm a diehard fan of late our president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, and a very inspiring personality. And there's a story related to him from his childhood, and this story tells that how important is the way you are communicating, right? So once in the childhood, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, he was playing with his cousin, and they had climbed the coconut tree up above, and suddenly there was a gush of wind, and there was a storm. Fine. So the parents, they ran towards the seashore in order to save these kids. And once they reached over there, they saw that both these kids, late Dr. Kalam and his cousin, both at the top of the coconut tree. So the parent of Dr. Kalam, uh, he communicated, he gave some instructions to him, and his uncle also gave some instruction to that kid, the cousin. But the resultant of the instruction was that Kalam sir was still, holding the coconut tree very secure, right at the top. But, sadly, the cousin had fallen down, right? So why that happened was, when Dr. Kalam's father said, he said, hold it tightly. There was only one liner. The way he communicated to his child was, hold it tightly. And the message given to his cousin was, oh God, you will fall. So have you understood this? Oh God, you will fall has given a negative connotation, and the human mind has accepted it. Oh, I'm going to fall. And the same thing happened, right? But here in Dr. Kalam's case, it was no confusion, no chaos, clarity in instruction, that you don't have any other focus, but you need to just tightly hold on to it, right? So the way we communicate is also important. And this is a era, students, where we need to maintain our, impression management. You people take it very casually when you are, I mean, not all of you, some of you, you take it very casually when you are communicating with some visitor, somebody who's asking you a way out, somebody who has come to, just a stranger asking for some help and all. What I mean to say over here is that you need to conduct yourself very well. Let it be a minor thing and let it be a major thing, right? The way we conduct ourselves. Now, when I say conduct, there are various aspects of personalities which are involved. One is my body language. Second is the usage of word, my my oral communication. Fine. Third, my all non-verbal gestures, right? It matters a lot. The same sentence with a frowning face is very, very negative, right? And the same sentence with a smile is very positive. So your non-verbal gestures are very, very important. So here, when we talk of it, the self-management, the impression management, all these things are very, very important. And the stories are used to, imbibe the right set of attitude in the students. Um, Again, one more story. Do you want me to narrate it? Are you getting it? One of you can tell me. Mrunal, Ashwini, Tanaya. Can you
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
me? Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So, thank you for the response. Okay. So, one more story. And here, what I want is, you to respond that why the old man responded in a certain way. Okay. So there was a desert, very huge desert. And uh, there was this young man who got stuck in that desert, and he was, hovering from one place to other, and he was facing a lot of problem. He lost the direction. He was not having any water. He was very, very thirsty, and for days he was in this desert stuck. So after a while he saw a very small hut, and he felt very happy that I'll get somebody there. There must be somebody sitting in that hut, and that person might help me, right? He reached towards that hut, and he saw an old man lying over there. So this old man was, lying, and this young man went to him and said, "Sir, I'm lost. Can you help me out?" There was no response. He said, "Sir, I'm lost in this desert. I'm too thirsty. Do you have water?" Again, no response. Says, "Sir, please help me. I'll die. Can you tell me the direction, in which direction I should go so that I'm out of this desert, and how much time I require to reach over there?" Again, the old man was, he was just lying quietly, saying nothing. And the young man kept on, repeating the same, that, "Sir, please help me. Tell me which direction and how much time I require to, you know, get out of this desert. Tell me how much time I require." Multiple times he requested the old man, but there was no response at all. And finally, he was so irritated that he said, "Fine, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm asking the wrong person." And he started walking. Fine. As he started walking, he must have taken some, 20 odd steps. The old man said, "Go to the south direction, and you require 3 hours, tentatively 3 to 4 hours to cross this desert." Right? And the young man was amazed. He said, "Oh God, for last so many, for last so many times I have requested him the same thing. And, there was no response. And now when I'm leaving him, he's giving me a solution. He's giving me a response. So why that has happened? Why, when the young man started moving away, there was a response? Please guess, students.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
he is checking her patience.
Very good try, Ashwini. Very good try. Fine. So the old man was checking the patience. Anybody else? I need one word answer. Mrinal and Tanaya also can add, and boys, Rishikesh and all can add to it. One word. आपको ज़्यादा बोलना ही नहीं है. So one, Ashwini has added, maybe patience. Second, who's going to give me the second response quickly? One word. I think most of you are busy. Okay. Thank you, Ashwini, for the response. See, when the young man started walking, the old man saw the pace of his footsteps, right? And based on the pace of his footsteps, he said, "Fine, you require 3 to 4 hours to cross this desert." How can I predict your pace without checking it? Isn't it? मुझे कितना टाइम लगेगा? For example, maybe, some of you require just 30 minutes to make a 10 slides. Some of you require just 10 minutes to make it. So आपके presentation कितने time में बनेगा? How do I predict it unless and until I have seen the pace with which you walk? Right? So as he was walking away, old man analyzed the pace of his footstep, and then he predicted it. That means, as a manager, you need to, assemble the resources first before giving a decision on it, before committing on completion of task. Right? You need to have a very mindful decision related to the availability of resources, and based on that, you will be predicting, or you will be committing on certain accomplishment of your goals. Am I right? Okay. So, as I told you, that if I order you, and especially the Gen Alpha, if I order you, be more creative, get motivated, start loving your job, are you going to do so? No. You'll say, there isn't anything which is, motivating me internally as such. And the human brain doesn't work that ways. I mean, my childhood friend, she had this tendency, the things to which her parents said no, she always wanted to do it once. Right? So if the parents have told her not to go for a particular thing, she would love to go over there. So we have these kind of tendency. Human brain doesn't work. If I say this is a policy, this is a rule which you need to follow, some of you will derive a pleasure in breaking those rules. Fine. So what here we are supposed to do is, we are here supposed to tell you the factual stories. We are here to tell you the inspiring stories. We are here to tell you that, the things which you feel are unachievable is actually achievable. So don't think that way. Like right from the beginning, what we are told, each one of us are unique. I have students who are not very good with academics, right? But they have certain different aspect. Like one of my students, she's very creative card maker, may not be getting CGPA of 8.9 or 8.8, but I appreciate her because of this particular quality of ours. So each one of us, we are unique in certain ways, and we need to develop it to create our own niche as such. Fine. So eventually, when we talk of, you can't even order a person to follow a rule book, like it is said, but people will read a good story about a guy who broke the rules and got fired, and a woman who followed the rules and got a raise. And if the story is narrated to you, you'll be remembering it throughout the life. So I tell you that, in this particular organization, there's this employee who followed these particular things, and he got a raise related to it. You'll remember, fine, I need to do this because I want to follow the same path as such. So people remember stories and their morals a lot better than they remember the written policies. So if I ask you, that is, what is a code of conduct, I don't think you'll be remembering even one rule under it, right? But if there is a story narrated that this particular, for example, Ashwini gave a very good answer towards a particular question, and she was awarded star for that, people will remember, oh, she contributed positively, right? So making employees giggle with a story is a better way to teach them something than reciting a list of rules. So, if you're very straightforward, if you're very, very administrative by nature, then the things will not work out for this generation, because they want things to be flexy. They like things to be flexy. Now here, just give me a moment. Now here I'm going to narrate you again a story. Please listen carefully. The background of this story is that there's no change in the story. The incident remains the same, but how two companies deal with the same incident reflects on the different orientation of the company. Fine. So at IBM, there was this Mr. Thomas Watson Jr. And one day he forgot his name tag, he forgot his iCard. And once, when he was entering the company, the security guard barred him, right? So security guard said, sir, you are not having iCard, I cannot allow you in the premises. Fine. The security guard was praised for this duty commitment of his, right? He was praised that, this is the work which a security guard has to do. He has to check the identity irrespective of the position of an individual, because it's a company policy, right? So he said, sorry, you don't have a card, we can't allow you in. And Mr. Thomas Watson Jr. praised him and appreciated him in front of everybody, that, see, this is what we say following a duty call. The same incident happened in Revlon, fine, with Charles Revson. And he was not carrying a I-card or any identification name tag, and the guard did not recognize, and guard barred him barred him from entering the premises, and the guard was fired, right? The guard had to lose his job. Now the IBM story shows the culture that respects the rules. आप छोटे हैं, आप बड़े हैं, if अगर culture of the company is that you are supposed to wear this, you are supposed to wear this. So the rules are not different for different people. I know an organization in Pune where I took a training session of 30 hours, and when I met the MD of that organization, he said, I was calling him sir, 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 and he said, sorry, in our company, nobody calls anyone by sir. It's the first name. I said, no, no, it's our culture, sir. I mean, you're elder to me and you have so much of experience. I should be calling you, sir. I said, no, no. That's the liberty given to people, that there has to be, certain kind of flow. And that's why we have decided even the junior most employee is going to call the MD by name. Clear? So there are different aspects which are associated with the organization. So here IBM story tells you the culture that respects rule, and Revlon story tells you, it shows one that respects the power. Now just check out the crux, the background is the same, but how an organization deals with it, it's in a different way. So here, I'm not saying that story is the only way and it should be always there whenever there's a whenever you are imbibing a change management initiatives, or whenever you're having a meeting, it should only start with the story. No, that's not the thing. It's one of the two. Fine. And that's why this slide says that if you want to build up a 5-year strategy, you should be doing, and what you require is a good strategist. And if you're trying to decide how much money to pay to acquire your biggest competitors, what you need is a good financial advisor, right? So, but to take it further, for 5-year strategy, you need to condition those 15,000 employees who are going to drive that. So for driving, as a driving force, the stories can be used as one of the tools as such. Now, with the slide thing, I have finished off. What I'll be doing is, I'll be sharing few more stories with you, and it is in narrative form, where I'm going to narrate it to you. So just give me a moment, and then we'll have one exercise. So this other story which tells you why we should be well wisher, why we should be motivator in each other's life. And let me tell you, this story relates to both your personal front and your professional front. And this story is not confined to the top designation, the middle designation, the top employees, the middle level employees, or the lower level employees. Please, no such categorization over here. At this point, with this story, um, everybody, right from all the students who are attending, you can be a very very good motivator rather than being demotivator for somebody. So there was this there were a group of frogs, and they were traveling through, and they were hopping through the forest, when two of these frogs, they kind of fell off in a well. Okay. Now once they were into the well, everybody else, those who were outside, the frogs, they were very very what do you say, they were very worried about these two frogs inside, and they said that now it's difficult, they won't be able to come out of the well in any case, right? So these frogs, right from the top of the well, they were looking into the water, and with they were shouting that don't try, don't hop, you will not be able to make it. Be there, be calm, and slowly you will die. So everybody, all other frogs were saying so, and these two inside, they were hopping again and again and again and again. But this thunder of this word that, why are you trying? We can't see you in pain. Please calm down. You won't be able to make, you will die. That this thunder of word was going on, in the mind of these two frogs as such. But the irony of the situation is that one frog, after multiple attempts, finally died, right? And the other frog kept on trying, kept on trying, kept on trying, and to everybody's surprise, he hopped and he was out of the well, right? So all other who were outside, kind of congratulated him that, oh God, you're a hero, you're out of the well. But we were waving at you and telling you that you won't be able to make it, calm down, and you will die, and all these things. But you never listened to us. Why that? Why, you were so positive in your aspects? Then they realized that this frog who survived was deaf. Fine. That means sometimes our performance goes down because of the negativity around us. So if we don't focus on the negativity part of it, I think it's better that we'll give our positive result as such. So what I mean to say over here is, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth. So the first thing is, we are not going to talk negative about anybody. Plus, we'll not be influenced by the negative environment. I know it's difficult, but we can try and not to be influenced by the negative environment. Why? Because we need to build up a grace, we need to build up a good team, and we need to practice self management. Fine. Uh, Student, there's one more exercise which I want to do it with you quickly. I think I have 9 more minutes. I'll just give me a moment. Okay. Mrunal ma'am, am I seen? I have switched on the video.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So students, you need to answer. This is very simple. Can you see this object in my hand?
Yes, ma'am.
What it is?
Pencil.
Very good. Who's that? Shruti.
Yes.
Okay, Shruti Kamble. Thank you, Shruti. This answering to a question will, it will definitely going to help you, because every answer given on this platform or any other platform builds the confidence, right? So I wish you a lot of luck. Are you from second year or first year?
First year.
First year. So still you have time, but I wish a very good placement for you, right? Build up the confidence and keep answering. Okay. So she said it's a pencil, right? Now, students, I want to ask you one question. Is there any lesson you derive out of this pencil? So I'm giving you 2 minutes to think and jot down maybe words, maybe sentences, or maybe one liners related to how this pencil motivates you. Quickly, 2 minutes. So I'll not talk for 2 minutes, but I need response. So I hope that you'll be responding it to me. I'm giving you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
we can write with pencil and also we can erase with whatever we are writing.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I think this is Ashwini Pawar, right? Thank you so much,
Yes.
Ashwini, for the response. We will come
Thank
back
you,
to
ma'am.
this, but let us give others some time. Okay. So 1 more minute.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the more we put pencil in the hard situation, like in the sharpener, the more it perform the better, like in the writing.
Very good. Very good, Sakshi. Very good. Huh? So let's give 30 seconds more to other students.
Ma'am,
Yes.
a simple pencil can draw a masterpiece.
Oh, very nice. Who's that? What's your name?
Shruti.
Shruti, I'm a fan of yours, right? Very good answer. I'm so happy. And Mrunal ma'am, please convey this to Ubade sir that you are lucky to have few very good students and who are giving such beautiful answers to me.
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely.
Anyone who wants to contribute?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, pencil motivate us that to write your own story.
Very good, very good. So, Shubham, very nice. Okay. So, I have got some excellent answers, and yes, you all are right. So, I'm thanking everybody, those who have answered, and those who are reluctant to answer. I know you must have written certain things, but doesn't matter. Build the confidence to share it in the next session. So, everyone is right, wherein pencil states the struggle. The more you are sharpened, the more beautification you get. And the outward is not that important. The graphite is more important. The internal things in your personality, your heart, your character, your ethics, your values, your kindness, all these are very, very important. Somebody said that it can be the mistakes which we do, which a pencil does, can be erased. That is so true. So none of the humans on this earth can claim that they have not done a mistake. But the greatest part is that we need to learn from our mistake and we will not repeat it, right? Then I think, there was one contribution where pencil can write powerful words. So students, same is your capability. You need to identify each one of you are unique and you have all capability to rule the corporate world. It's just your thought alignment and your focus has to be intact. And the most important thing, let's leave our mark. The way pencil leaves the mark, every conversation, every interaction, whether it's an interaction with the peon of your college or it's an interaction of the CEO of some company, let's leave the mark. And I think you all have a capability of that. I'm running short of time. So what I'll be doing is, last I'll play just a video of hardly a minute and then I'll call off the session. So please see this video, very important for you. Just give me a minute. Yes, students.
Time, a master potter gathered his students and gave them an important challenge. He divided them into two groups and gave them separate instructions. To the first group, he said, "Your task is to create a single perfect pot. Take all the time you need to plan, design, and craft it. Focus on making it flawless." To the second group, he gave a different challenge. Your goal is to make as many pots as possible within the time given. It doesn't matter if some are imperfect. Just keep making more. The students eagerly started their work. The first group spent most of their time sketching designs, measuring proportions, and over-analyzing every detail before finally crafting their pot. They feared making mistakes, so they hesitated, second-guessed, and worked cautiously. The second group immediately started molding clay, creating pot after pot. Some were uneven, some cracked, and some collapsed entirely. But with every mistake, they learned. With each new pot, their hands became steadier, their techniques improved, and their creativity flourished. When the time was up, the master potter examined their work. To everyone's surprise, the most beautiful and well-crafted pots came from the second group, the ones who had focused on quantity, not perfection. Why? Because while the first group was stuck in planning and fear of failure, the second group embraced the process. Through trial and error, their hands became skilled, their confidence grew, and they mastered their craft. Moral of the story: success is not about waiting for perfection. It's about taking action, learning from failures, and improving along the way. Many people hesitate to start because they fear making mistakes. But the truth is, mistakes are the stepping stones to mastery. The more you try, the better you become. Once upon a time, a master potter gathered his students.
So I hope you enjoyed this session. And Mrinal ma'am, over to you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and guiding and sharing such profound insights on management lessons through the session stories. The session was really very informative and very wonderful. On behalf of Matrix School of Management Studies, I thank a guest of honor, Dr. Pooja Upadhyay ma'am, for guiding the students. I thank a director and express my gratitude for your support and direction throughout the session. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, students, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Students are requested to please fill the feedback form and then you can leave the session.